Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Let's get started today with today's video. The video title is "You are not unspiritual. You are just under-ventilated." Okay, which means you're not breathing deep enough. You're not allowing your life force energy to regenerate. You can try this with me right now, okay? And hit a like on the video if this works out for you. So what we'll be doing is we'll go all the way and breathe in once, and then go up and breathe in 3 more times, okay? So once. Quick reset of the mind. Okay, there's a lot of other techniques to get into the snow mind state, but I just wanted to start off with this one. Make sure you know that consciousness is actually not inside the body. It's just the juice that animates it. And the matrix skims that juice by hijacking your attention on things. Also, your light intake, the sunlight, right? Which we think, oh, it's so bad. Your eyes are like the steering wheel of your nervous system. So your field of vision expands with life force and then again collapses with stress. So this is why we have to lead lives that are not so stressful and full of cortisol. A contracted vision means a contracted fate. Beta brainwaves are a borrowed operating system. You see, we do not need to function in that state all the time. We can actually remain in alpha waves. Now, we talk all about in modern culture about being an alpha male, but have you ever tapped into alpha waves before? Chronic stress screens and this perform thinking culture keeps us in a beta brainwave. However, your natural baseline is at an alpha. It's spacious, it's embodied, it's responsive, it's magical. So the main thing you want to be feeling is coherence. The split happens is when our central vision gets overclocked. When you focus too hard on one task, what tends to happen is all of that energy fizzes out and you get that mental fatigue. But the peripheral vision is actually associated with the subconscious, the collective, the wholeness, right? So once you can perceive, like just try this, like wiggle your hands, right? And see if you can perceive using your peripherals. Right? If you can't see, just bring the arms a little bit more forward. Just look ahead, but still notice that you can see this. That's a good peripheral vision practice, also called hakalau by a lot of tribes, okay? If we keep reverting day and night, and inverting it all the time, like at nighttime, you are around so many different screens and lights, and basically the rods and cones in your eyes will get malnourished at nighttime if you do this. It'll keep you up, right? It won't give you the deep rest that you truly require. And if you spend the daytime indoors with all this fake light, then of course it's gonna have the same, effect for you. You're gonna feel bad, you're gonna feel worse. And then your body forgets the sun's pulse, the energetics of the sun, right? Why is it that the sun comes out at day and the moon comes out at night, right? There's a lot of esoterics associated with that because the sun is conscious, the moon is subconscious, correct? And screens will hack your attention through flicker rate, right? Because if you keep doom scrolling, you are perpetuating that. It's not just the content. The light source training your bio clock to someone else's rhythm, someone else's metronome. Going to school normalizes problem chasing, right? Every time you go into a classroom, there's always a problem that needs solving. Why isn't there ever just a solution being presented? Okay? And this is why I went into positive psychology, because I started to understand the modern psychology is so dark. It focuses on a lot of darkness, right? We do not actually delve deeper into the light, right? Or transpersonal psychology and all these other fields, right? So I was telling Ellie the other day, I remain the same, but I choose to be multidimensional. I choose to lean into my edge, right? And I think this is a great mentality to live if you're accessing this spirituality, right? leaning into your edge a little bit. Natural greens don't yank the limbic leash. So being out in nature is very, very powerful because it will make your baseline go down to an alpha, because you'll feel more holistic, peripheral, and also tap into an embodied seeing. When you stop trying to see during meditation, the body's wisdom boots up. Bring ego eyes to the inner world and you'll miss the show. Once you close your eyes, you automatically enter alpha. So close your eyes to open the system. Get it working. Attention is perception. Wherever you look, consciousness stretches towards and it inhabits. And if you keep staring at boxes, you're gonna live boxed up. That's just the truth. Now, truth, that quality of truth, that Vajra diamond-like truth, right? That cuts through all illusion and Maya. You see, perception can be flipped in a heartbeat by direct truth. But a deeper leash is the light you live under, okay? Fix both. Proper sunlight or sun gazing refeeds your cones, powers your rods, upgrades your night vision, the subtle perception, and the eye of the eye center. So you're not really tired, you're unplugged. They inverted your days, they flooded your nights, and they taught you to live by labels instead of life. Now that's all right. I ain't hating, but we gotta unhex it like this. Widen the eyes. This is how you get out of a lucid dream, right? You widen the eyes all of a sudden. If you widen the eyes, you widen the life. Feed your cones the sun, let the rods drink the night away, and return to the green when the world gets loud. And for the love of your destiny, stop looking at these boxes thinking they're your temple. You were the temple. Now act like it. So sun gaze safely, don't stare directly into the sun. Obviously when it's sunlight, sunrise or sunset is a better time. Or looking through leaves at the sun sometimes helps. The point is doze, not bravado, okay? Sun then dark hygiene, bathe in parks or just greenery, nature daily. Do some peripheral drills, so even if you're walking around the park, you're noticing your peripheral vision and everything. You're perceiving everything. You're looking into that panoramic vision. And of course, widen your seeing, widening your fate. Relabel the world less, okay? A lot of times throughout the day, you'll notice you have this urgency to label things. Like this is like this, and this is like that, and it's always been like that, right? You don't need to do that all the time. My challenge to you is one day of no naming. Experience textures, weight, sensation, distance, temperature without words. Not, it's hot right now. Don't even say that. It's gonna make you feel more hot. I get it, it's an experience right now, but just explain, like, there's sweat coming off of my skin right now. That's an observation. I'm not saying that it's hot. I haven't put a label on it yet. I'm just describing what's happening, right? So just like a narrator describes what is happening in the moment, you try to do the same with your mind, and it will really start to center you and calm you down, right? If you had a narrator telling you how to lead your life. Right now, the character Uncle Makara is making a YouTube video. He's speaking directly at the audience. So there's also something called the forgotten chakra. This is one of the chakras that I've strengthened, the inner ear chakra, connected to the vestibular system, or your sense of balance or proprioception. I once had a very annoying ear ache because I had gotten some water which went into my inner ear, and I was prescribed with some kind of drugs and exercises that I had to do when I went to the ENT specialist. But I noticed that that was actually the start of me accessing audio shamanic powers, where I was able to actually hear telepathically at certain things happening. And this is one of those chakra points that I think are very overlooked. And you know what trains this, guys? Spinning, dervish dancing, right? So if you start spinning around, it will actually start to activate this inner ear chakra, the forgotten chakra. That's cross-wired with the thymus. It's associated with your gut health and your serotonin. And you'll notice that kids do this all the time. Kids spin around, they tumble, they roll, right? They do all these things. But as adults, we've stopped doing that. right? Our bodies are not as agile and, quick. But if you have a collapsed vestibular, you'll get into a nothing excites me anymore loop, right? You're gonna feel very apathetic. And a colorful vestibular is like a colorful world, right? So you know how we say spin it to win it? That's not only applying to the chakra points to spin those, but to spin yourself, okay? Upward spiral, gang. Everything is made from a spiral, okay? From the genes to the nautilus shell, in many different aspects of nature, the golden ratio meditation we did yesterday, okay? You understand everything is a spiral. So why not use spiral? And I understand if you start spinning like this, you may get dizzy and you get vertigo. Take it easy on yourself. You don't have to spin, for an entire 5 minutes right away. Just do it for 30 seconds really slow and get a good feeling for it. And after the first 3 days, you'll start to get that, wait a minute, I'm actually shutting down my ego, mind, identity by doing this, right? But I'm also getting this balance, this proprioception is building within me as a skill set. So spin the body wide in the world, and remember to breathe more into your beingness, okay? You're under-ventilated. You're under-life forced. You need to effectively bring in that prana through your body and let it out, okay? Now, shoulder rolls are great, okay? I love doing these. Neck circles, okay? Hip thrusts. Any exercises you would do for warm-up in general, but instead it's spiritual because you're tuning yourself now, right? Just like an athlete needs to warm up before a sport, you warm up before your spiritual path, your spiritual working. So these little things like tapping and pressing into the bones and, slapping this part of the body like Pai Da Lai Jin, or, doing some Qigong, all this stuff can help you for sure, but you gotta create something for yourself that works, because you know your own body better than me, right? I only know some aspects of what I can tell people generally about their, body, mind, spirit complex, but you know it like it's the back of your hand, right? Whoa, that's new, right? So if you start to go into this process, you will start to notice that, wow, naturally, I'm getting my balance back. I'm getting my harmony back, right? There's a reason why the Sufi dervish dancers would go into these altered states, because they would enter 0 point by doing this, right? And there's another technique that I had found the other day where you just lean back and you hold your breath and you lean back like this. And as you do this and your body's shaking, quite similar to the bowstring exercise, right? And as your body is just quivering and shaking, you're gonna start noticing that your whole chakra points, especially the upper chakras, are gonna start opening up, right? And radiating out. So if you have a blockage in your throat or in your third eye, or you feel that tension, just do the leaning back just to get yourself that mastery, and it'll quickly shut off your monkey mind too. So this is very good for, rebalancing and so forth. So remember, just breathe deeper into your diaphragm, breathe into your feet, okay? Imagine you had pores, right? Your nostrils were at the bottom of your feet. That's the grounded breath, right? You notice the difference when you do that. And then what can you do? You can start tapping your foot or something like this, something very simple where you notice you're doing a flow state practice and you find your rhythm with it, right? Whatever practice you do, you can create it into an asana, a movement, and you find your rhythm with it. Okay? Very easy. I just invented one right now, right? Very easy. So this is actually from doing these types of practices, I had come across this Vajra Dragon Yoga, or Charisma Yoga as I like to call it, because it really helps you create a bridge between your sacral chakra and your throat chakra, right? So expression is the name of the game here, right? This is gonna open up your expression too. So, we have a lot of practices for Dragon Yoga that is very, very powerful, and it can actually help you activate these hidden reservoirs of energy, okay? The different meridians that are overlooked and underrated oftentimes, right? If you think there's only 7 chakras, you're playing yourself, okay? There's so many. There's chakras in your hands, right? And feet. There's a earth star, there's a soul star, there's many other chakras above, many below, right? Don't give up hope. Don't give up the mission. Understand there's more for you to unveil as you become wiser, older, more refined, more intelligent, more loving. And you start caring for yourself and you start caring for the people. You start showing up differently once you know that you have this within you. You have all these skills. You understand that I gotta make sure that my night and day is fine-tuned again, and work with these beings and deities and spirits throughout the day, right? Just thinking about them can alter your energy. So keep these high vibrational individuals in your mind, right? You know, keep Babaji in your mind, keep Ganesh in your mind, right? Ganesh can also be, there's a dark side of Ganesh too, so there's always a counter opposite in the universe, right? So it's important for you to understand that you don't just take the object and you're like, it's only that. No, you are finding the version which will resonate with you at that moment, right? So for some reason, I might have a pull towards working with Thor's energy, but that doesn't mean that I have to go and channel Thor, right? It just means that I have to access that energy, find my own certain bridge that it brings me towards. Maybe it brings me towards Indra's power in my Hindu path working, and it doesn't go directly into Thor's energy, but it's the same lightning cord, right, that connects both of them. So you're gonna have to start thinking like this, and thinking almost like a strategist or a tactician would in terms of your spiritual path, right? Don't just kind of go at this willy-nilly, like kind of the Zen master archetype of like, I'll forget everything and be nothing and I'll figure everything out, right? Life gets kind of mundane and boring like that. I feel like there's an interest in just making this lore and myth and adding our own stories to the mix as you start observing yourself and the way that you move, right? And maybe you notice your behaviors, your little twitches, your idiosyncrasies, your strange gestures that you do, right? There's moments where you're like, that's me, right? Have you ever looked at your past and thought, that's me? That's how you know you've transformed a lot, right? So start going into this mentality of, that's me? Yes, it's all you, right? So find that multidimensionality of you, the multidimensional awareness of you, and start living as that. Stop trying to chase, okay? Enough is enough. It's the time for a revelation, for apocalypse, right? Which means to reveal. So it's time, okay? We must get our act together. And the act is this divine play. So be it, Swaha. Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. You got this, we got this. Upward spiral. Oh,